Welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the DigiFlavor Fuji tank. Like my hat? Alright, so this is a Jenny style tank where your build is up here, juice is down here, flows all around it there, and you can even see the wicking sticking out of the bottom. Okay? Let's take a look at it. You're going to see some issues in the up close, which made me think this was not going to be good, but the problem didn't really translate to actual use. So let's take a look at it, and then I'll tell you about the problem. Okay, so today we're taking a look at the DigiFlavor Fuji GTA dual coil version tank. As always, I am unboxing it, looking at it up close for the first time with you. GTA design moves the chamber closer to the drip tip for pure flavor, allows direct airflow directly to coil, easy to wick, scratch and sniff. I started that, I think. And there we go. So let's open her up and take a look. Alright, we got a tank, we got a glass. Put that aside and see what's underneath. You got a whole bag of goodies in here. You got your little multi-purpose screwdriver there, which we'll pull out. We'll need that. You got your extra grub screws and all your O-rings as always. Let's throw that back in there for now. The extra glass. Let's take a look at the tank itself. Alright. Got your bottom airflow. Looks like you also got some top airflow. Pretty clicky. Alright, I like that. A lot better than the smooth. Even up here. That locks in place. It's not free spinning. Alright. Removable drip tip, although it is not standard. Tight fit on there. Let's open up that top. Nice big juice fill holes on top. It's always nice, makes things easier. Threading feels good. This has not been cleaned yet. There we go. Alright, glass comes off. Put that down. And let's take a look at that deck. So you see in this design here, some pretty big holes for your coils there, two big airflow holes. The way this works is you're going to put your coils in here, and your wicks are just going to drop down these channels here. Alright? And then when you place it in, alright, your wicks are just going to be coming out those holes right there. Let's get that lined up right. Alright, you can see the holes in there. That's where your wick's going to be hanging out of. It's going to be hanging down into the bottom there. Now, if you don't fill that with enough cotton, then the problem will be when you fill it with juice, if you fill it above that point and you put enough juice in here, if you just put it up to here, it wouldn't matter. It would just be wicks hanging down into there. But if you fill it higher and there's a gap there, this is going to flow right back up in and possibly flood your coils. So we're going to have to see how that works out. Those are kind of big wick holes there. Alright, probably have to make sure we pack a decent amount of cotton in there. Not too much, or you don't get the juice flowing into the cotton. Too little, and you will flood your coils. Alright, and flood your coils, you'll flood right into your airflow. So with those wicks running down here, if juice flows back up in here, it's just going to go right back in here and leak. So we'll have to see how that works out, how the best way to wick that is, and go from there. Not a whole lot else to show you on here. It says DigiFlavor. Alright, saying DigiFlavor there. Threads here feel fine. Yes, it feels like it's not going in perfectly, but it's okay. Alright, like I said, clicky on the airflow. Pin protrudes a little bit. Alright, take some measurements if you want, do some sizes. base, we're talking about 25 millimeters. Without the drip tip, go to that point there. Without the drip tip, you're talking about 52 millimeters. With the drip tip, 62 millimeters. Well, drip tips are usually about 10. Pretty big airflow. You can see in there. I know it's hard with the lighting. Pretty big airflow in there, it looks like, because you're not using a standard drip tip. So that hole's pretty small, standard, but then it just widens out the top, but you have to go by the most narrow point, so I guess it's not tremendous. But it feels nice. The tank feels good. I think it looks good. It's not a standard RTA, so we're gonna have to see how she does. I'm just looking in here. It looks like when I put it in, even the threads don't look perfect. I don't know if you could see that there, but you can see that there's nothing there. But as I turn it this way, you see a thread, and you don't see a thread over here. So that means that this did not screw in straight. So kind of important to make sure those threads are good. Let's try that again. And when I start there, obviously it's not straight. You can see it in the glass here. But there we go. No, still. Not so happy about that. Let's try it again. See if we can catch it just right. See? See how the glass is, how wide it is here, how narrow it is here? It's just not catching right. Again, wider there than it is on this side. There we go. I think I finally got it where the glass is even all the way around. So you got to play with that a little bit. That even just screwing it in, it just doesn't feel. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it there, but inside there's no gap. On this side there is. You can almost see one of the threads. So I'm not too happy with the threading on this right now. It's really just not threading well. All right, let's try without the glass just to see. Does this come off? No, that's part of the top. As soon as you do that, so what you usually do, if you learn, is you go backwards. You're unscrewing it until you feel the threads click. But I don't like the way I can see that no threads there, threads there. Just doesn't feel right. It does not feel good. I'm not happy with this part already. It's almost like the threads are off. See, now it's fine. That's fine. That's in there fine. But you shouldn't have to struggle with it to get it right. And I feel already like I'm struggling with it to get the threads in properly. Alright, so let's throw this back on. Let's try that again. It just feels like it's popping and not going in right. I don't like it. I don't like this at all. I don't like those threads. I don't like it. I am very disappointed right now with this. I feel like the threads are all off. I really feel like the threads are off in there, but we'll have to see if that makes a difference. But that's certainly a thumbs down right away, that the threads just aren't comfortable and not fitting good. I could play with this for a half hour trying to get those threads to feel just right. See, it feels like they're popping in and out. Look at that. It almost feels like... Did you see that? Did you see that? There's the threads. I can almost get this together, look at that, without even screwing it. Wow. And I mean, I'm not forcing it that hard, I'm just giving it a little wiggle. Wow, that is not good. That is not, I don't like that at all. Alright, well, I'm gonna vape on this and use it a little bit more, and then let you know the outcome of those terrible, terrible threads. Alright? So let's go back up top on top and It'll be a little while after this point, after I've used this for a while, and let you know what happens with it. Alright, so as you can see there, that threading really bothered me in working on it. It just seemed like that was going to cause a problem, leaking, like it wasn't even going to stay tight together. Those threads are so micro thin, so fine, those threads, that you could wiggle that right together without actually having to thread it and tighten it. And I really thought that was going to be a problem, but I haven't had any problems. I thought this would leak. As you can see, I have it full, above the, above the wicking area all the way up here. I've had twice that I had a little leaking. The first time I put it together, just a little bit, had to wipe off the side. And one time I was walking with it outside in my yard, just had the whole tank in my hand, the whole thing in my hand like this, and I was just swinging my arm and didn't realize, and after a couple of minutes of that, I felt some juice in my hands and some came out from a lot of movement like that. I mean, you are dealing basically with a dripper with juice all around it instead of dripping it through the top. And it's wicking up through the full wick holes, and if too much gets up there, it's going to go back down through the airflow holes. Okay, so twice I did have a little bit of that, but aside from those two little leaks, which I don't think were anything terrible, the flavor has been excellent on this. Wicking is easy. She's been working great. I'm vaping it on Alien right now. I got my 0.2 ohm dual Claptons in there, and I'm vaping this at 68 watts. And I got some of this, the Hype cotton candy in there, and I'm just loving it. She's vaping great. This tank, I picked mine up from Element Vapes. This one's going for about $35 on Element Vapes. Specs on this thing is 25 millimeter diameter, 6 mil juice capacity, although I'm never filling it right to the top, but it says 6 mil juice capacity. 4.5 millimeter internal air tube inside chamber, 10 millimeter drill. Yeah, okay, you can see that on the screen. But she's just vaping great. I really like it. I didn't think I was when I unboxed it and looked at it, but I don't have any problems. I don't use the top airflow. I wish they didn't even put that on there, but it's there if you want it, and it's easy to turn off right from that little piece up there. Okay, works fine. Nice and clicky on your dials for your airflow on your top and bottom. I like that. It's a lot better to have it click in place than just have it be smooth turning. You can change the build on this even once it's there. You turn it upside down. You leave it sit for a while. You let all that juice, you can't have too much juice. If it's really full, it's going to be a problem. But it takes a while for the air to get through there. Can you see that, like the bubbles going through? There you go. And after a while, once that juice all settles to the bottom, and right now it might be too full just because I had just filled it up. But once the air is below this point here, you can loosen it, take out your build, re-wick, put it back together again, and she works fine. No problems whatsoever. I've done that a number of times. I've re-wicked it. I've refilled it. I haven't had any issues from it other than two minor leaks. One was just the first time putting it together, and one was my fault, just shaking the thing around a lot walking around. Excellent vape. Excellent vape. Great taste on it. So I'm really happy with that. A lot better than I thought it was going to be from the unboxing, but it's definitely a recommend. I like it. It's good. It works well. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and let's make vape great again. Not that it ever stopped.